Good morning at Jesus School. I'm wearing the shirt that Jesus made for me. Jesus writes on my shirts using my hand. This one says, see, so see, King, King of Kings. See King, more Jesus. It's kind of faded. I think we need another one. I'll wait till Jesus decides to give me another t-shirt and to write upon it. But this morning is episode 2 of Pluck Out My Eye, which is a public service TV program streaming today on Jesus TV. And fancy, it is not. Mysterious, yes. Marvelous, yes indeed. For me, very relevant. And so Jesus had me script it so that I wasn't going to get off too much. So here we go. Like episode 1, you can search for Pluck Out My Eye, and you can watch episode 1, and this is episode 2. You can also go to, I'll be placing it on, Jesus Says, www.getmorejesus.com. So that's where Jesus TV, that's one of the sites where you can get on Jesus TV, and this is one of the first official programs, television programs that is being made. This is episode 2, and here we go. Previously on Pluck Out My Eye, Jesus put it into my heart to pray and ask for something quite unusual, a brand new worldview, different than the normal or conventional worldview that I had inherited from my parents, my grandparents, from U.S. Antichrist, Babylon, all is well in Zion, from my peers, from Walmart, from school, from graduate school, from church. So this is a different worldview that Jesus gave me. Go to the script, Greg. Different than the one I grew up with. And why did I need a new one? Because Jesus said the one I have is broken and corrupt. So I got a replacement worldview. Long story short, God heard my prayer. Jesus came down and gave me a brand new, Jesus-themed, Jesus-enriched, Jesus-revealed worldview as a free gift, all packaged up in a box. Woo, sweet! As a kit, as a kind of marvelous, mysterious puzzle. One that since 2015, when I was born again, I have been continually assembling and reassembling with Jesus and his angels, piece by piece, very carefully, as Jesus slowly reveals to me this worldview, this Jesus worldview, line upon line, precept upon precept. It has taken lots of patience, but it's coming together nicely. In this episode of Pluck Out My Eye, Jesus is letting me, show and tell style, present to you one of the key pieces of my new Jesus worldview. All right. And by the way, Jesus says, anyone can ask for one of these, Greg. Tell them to pray to Heavenly Father and say, Heavenly Father, I would like a new worldview. And then Jesus will bring it to you. That's what Jesus tells me when I hashtag hear him or when I listen to that still small voice inside me. So I believe it. I have learned from Jesus that a worldview is essentially a story, a living parable. To be precise, the Jesus worldview, which Jesus gave me, is, according to Jesus, a story, a Jesus story. I'm learning to tell and live a new story, my life story, the Jesus way. Anyway, until recently, I did not know that there are two major overarching parts of a worldview. Keep in mind, I'd never knowingly assembled a worldview in my entire life, nor had I ever met or even heard about anybody doing something like this. But here's the thing. My new Jesus Worldview kit, Jesus Story, has a setting and a plot. Let me repeat. A setting and a plot. What is a worldview setting, you may ask? Go ahead and ask. I'll tell you, and I quote, a setting is the context, the where and the when of a story, of a worldview. It supplies the worldview, the story's backdrop, time period, the mood and atmosphere. It's also a shaping factor in the worldview plot and in what happens. And we'll talk about the plot in the next episode. This episode is about the setting. A worldview plot, next episode, is the sequence of related events in a story, my new Jesus story that expresses my new Jesus worldview. The plot, it tells us what happens, when it happens, and why, and what might have happened, or what might still happen, too. So the plot is actually prophetic. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? And of course, Jesus can inform that. Pieces at a time, like a puzzle, kind of how he does it. Well, I'll tell you what happened. I got a whole new setting for my entire life. In this episode of Pluck Out My Eye, Jesus and I introduced the setting of my new Jesus Worldview kit. Drum roll, please. Oh, finally, he's getting to it. I know, right? Drum roll, please. My new Jesus Worldview has a custom fit for Greg. Like, what does Greg need? What's the setting? Okay, what's the stage? Does he need to be in? Well, it's called Jesus School. The grand, the overall, the overarching, the universal setting of my new Jesus Worldview puzzle is Jesus School. I'm going to school now. Specifically, Jesus School Kindergarten. Jesus actually enrolled me. I'm a 59-year-old man, but Jesus enrolled me in Jesus School Kindergarten. I'm in Jesus School Kindergarten. Mind blown, right? Boom. Get used to different. Yes, get used to different. This is my new worldview, Jesus School. This understanding of the setting of my worldview actually came as a full-on revelation from Jesus. One morning at 4:30 in the morning, I remember this. I wrote it down. I call it the Jesus School prophecy. I could call it the setting of Greg's new Jesus worldview, but I called it that. At Jesus School, in my bed this morning at 4:30 a.m., so I'm reading from my journal, the prophecy I share with you below is something I recently learned in a very mysterious school that I attend. Think Hogwarts in the movie Harry Potter, but even more mysterious and more Jesus-y. It is a school that you may or may not have heard about previously. I hadn't. Consider this a revelation. I do. I began to attend this school regularly when I was born again in 2015. I didn't even know I was attending this school. So Jesus enrolled me and like, where are we at? I suppose that's how it was when I was a little kid and went to Miss Bovie's in Powell, Wyoming. What am I doing here? Why is Mommy not here? Oh, that's my teacher. The school is called Jesus School. Jesus School is a kind of homeschool or life school offered by Jesus and his angels to those who seek Jesus in earnest. Warning, you may be in Jesus School and not even know it, or you may know it by another name. Actually, I didn't even know Jesus School was a thing until Jesus told me. Most recently, when he shared the "you're stuck in kindergarten with the other kindergartners" prophecy. Okay, well, this prophecy has two names. You're stuck in kindergarten with the other kindergartners prophecy. In short, it was only recently that Jesus made me aware that Jesus had enrolled me and you in Jesus School without my witting awareness. That's good old Jesus for you, right? God of mystery he be. Anyhow, I'm currently in kindergarten in Jesus school, Jesus told me, and that's because I am a mortal. Jesus calls all the mortals sheep or lambs. Jesus told me that every student who goes to Jesus school while they are still glued inside their mortal body is actually in kindergarten. Be they the highest church leader in the land, be they the president of the country, or be they the lowest low in the gutter. Even though some of them fancy themselves to be first graders or second graders, they are not. They are all sheep like me, according to our teacher, the Good Shepherd. Thus, Jesus is often emphasizing and re-emphasizing to me and other kindergartners to follow the Good Shepherd, not the sheep. Following other sheep instead of the Good Shepherd is one of the most common and damning, can I say that word? Oh, okay. One of the most common and damning weaknesses of every kindergartner. Of course it is. We are all sheep after all, and we, like sheep, have all gone astray. Yes, we have. Granted, there are some kindergartners, let's honor this, there are some kindergartners or mortals who Jesus has assigned to the Jesus School Kindergarten Gifted and Talented program. People like Albert Einstein, Elon Musk, President Russell M. Nelson, President of the United States. Biden, is he still in there? Kindergarten, yeah, yes, he is. Stephen Hawking, Bill Gates, Mother Teresa, etc. They have special knowledge or gifts. And I imagine it's pretty hard to be in that heady kindergarten group or to be called by Jesus to be a hall monitor or a nap person or the lunch helper and not have it go to your head. Oh, look what I can do. And not have it go to your head and cause you to think that you've advanced beyond kindergarten into first grade. You have not. Heck, as you know, it's hard for every one of us mortals at different times in our lives to accept that we are just mere kindergartners in our limited knowledge and limited skills compared to what? Compared to Jesus and his angels, those immortals. They had some of those floating around at Hogwarts, didn't they? Coming up next, in episode 3 of Pluck Out My Eye, the TV program, the television program that Jesus is making for general audiences and for me. Coming up next on Jesus TV, episode 3, Jesus and I will share the underlying plot of my new Jesus worldview, of Greg's Jesus worldview. And if you're watching this, you're like, I don't want that worldview. Well, of course not. Jesus says one size fits one. And so we are down here in McDonald's land where they're like, no, same hamburger for everybody. We aim to please, but if we don't please to aim, we're just going to go ahead and give them the hamburger like it is. But what if I want extra onions? You'll have to beg and plead because we don't got time for that. Only Jesus would have time to custom fit a worldview. That's a big ask, and it was. And I'd been asking, my soul had been asking for well beyond 2015. I had different names for it, like Jesus. And they'd give me these words, the drama. So I'm like, I know I'm in a drama, okay? I know that we're acting out these things, that all the world's a stage. We are merely players, betrayers. Okay. But I know that the pioneers, okay? So I studied the pioneers. Some of those guys were able to see themselves as in a different drama. It's like, whoa, that guy's really thinks he's building Zion. He's building a fence in Sanpete County. Oh, I'm building God's kingdom. And he was. For those who have eyes to see, he literally was. And I'm actually grateful to be here today in Sanpete County, right under Jesus Mountain. Oh, you see it through the trees? Jesus renamed that mountain. At least as far as I can tell, because I heard him. Like, that needs to be called Jesus Mountain. Great, that'll help you remember me always, like you covenant to do. Remember me always. And of course, that's why he put me in Jesus school, because what does Jesus school remind you of? I went to Texas A&M. What does that remind you of? Well, A&M, agriculture and mechanics, yeah. What does BYU remind you of? Brigham Young University. So Brigham Young. What does Jesus school remind you of, Greg? Jesus? Yeah. Oh, I like that. Woo. How did somebody come up with that? Why didn't they call BYU Jesus school? Go look at what's happening there culturally. I don't think we want that name on there. Anyhow, I'm not going down that rabbit hole, but I do want to say, stay tuned to Jesus TV. I'm following the script. God is with you till we meet again. God is with you. And he is. And the angels are too. Now, whether you can see it or not, that's my problem and your problem. It's like, I don't see you guys, but that's where this little thing, da-da-da-da-da, this thing called faith. I can't handle it, this thing called faith. I must get round to it. I think I'm ready for a little thing called faith. When I can't see Jesus in front of me. I can't see him floating. I can't see the angels, but I've been told that they are there. Then I'm ready to practice God's presence, is what that's called. God told me at Jesus school. I listen. I'm getting better at listening carefully. Sometimes I'm not listening very well, I will admit. It's like I'm out on the playground, like, I hear Jesus singing the song. Then I start writing down the lyrics. Oh, what's he saying? And Jesus will turn to me and say, oh, we got a Jesus radio over here. Greg's transmitting the songs that he's hearing. And so, like I always like to do, can I go off script, Lord? Oh, okay. He said, go for it. Your audience of 2 won't care at all. They're probably sleeping already. So that was the episode. And my heart wants to sing a song, a Jesus song. Oh, I do want to sing that one, Lord. Okay. So he just reminded me of a song that I heard out on the playground recently. Oh, this was in class. I think Jesus was humming this tune. And I recognize that. But I didn't recognize the words. I'm like, oh, what is he saying? And so I started writing them down. So here's the thing. If you hang around Jesus a lot and you listen to what he's saying, you'll start hearing stuff. And you'll that's different than what I remember. Because get used to different. Jesus will do that. So let's see if I can pull this one up. King Jesus Karaoke Worship, KJKW. That's the radio station. King Jesus Karaoke Worship. That was established, that moniker anyways. Oh, that's one he's working on right now that I hear him singing around the classroom. Is this one? Oh, yeah, so I'm gonna sing Home Sweet Jesus, but I'll just share this briefly. This is one I heard him singing the other day. What did it used to be called? Oh yeah. So this I'm like, I think that's Don Henley. And then I get, God goes, who gave it to Don Henley, Greg? Of course, I'm in Jesus school. I'm like, you did. Is it beautiful, Greg? Yeah. Is it lovely? Is it a good report or praiseworthy? Yeah, because I like that song. This is the last worthless evening that you'll have to spend. Just give me a chance to show you love again. Well, if you've ever heard that one, have you heard this one? Let me see. My mind was broke up inside. My mind was broke up inside. My heart was hard as stone. Then I started to search for you. I was tired of being alone. Knew I needed more of you. My journey, it did begin. As I started to realize I hear you in hymns. So many voices round here, and there's lots that shout. Learning to hear the God who whispers, had to figure it out. And it just breaks my heart. Da 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 da. That one I haven't heard yet what Jesus was saying there. And then the chorus is, Jesus, at last I can hear you like I never have. Your voice in a song as we sing in sweet harmony. Don't know if that works. We'll see. Jesus, at last I can hear you like I never have. Echoes in a hymn, your still small voice calls out to me. Yeah, maybe I didn't hear him right. Oh, this was a take two. I'm like, did I hear you right? Because that's not working. And like, well, you maybe not hearing it right. Jesus, at last, you're the best friend that I've ever had. You show me the way when I'm lost. Give me hope again. Jesus, at last, you're the best friend that I've ever had. 'Cause you are here to get my broken heart all on the mend. Yeah, so, I'm kind of thinking that those things, I might hear them again when I'm listening to Jesus at Jesus School, and maybe that'll change. I don't know. Jesus surprises me all the time. But this is the one that I wanted to sing, and Jesus said, you can sing it for him, Greg. Like, I love this song, Jesus, because it's a recent one that he was singing. And so, Home Sweet Jesus. Ooh, you are the way. Yeah, let's pull up the karaoke. So Jesus karaoke worship here. Am I going to be able to pull that up? Let's go down here. That's the midnight train to Jesus. Come sail away with Jesus. That one's More Jesus Feeling. Used to be Boston song. Gimme Shelter. Gimme Jesus Shelter. The Rolling Stones. Ooh, I like that one. I want to see that today. Extraordinary Good. Boys of Summer. Boys of Jesus. Okay, I'm going to have to do a little search here for Home Sweet Jesus. And then we'll sing it, and then I'll sign off to the Stars and Stripes. Home Sweet Jesus. Here we go. I think that's it. Yeah. It's looking good. Let's turn on the music. Very appropriate for Jesus School, this first line. Jesus, I dream now with my heart and soul. I had to pluck out my eye so I wouldn't miss your show. I know I once was blind, but now you help me see. I was in chains then. You came, Jesus. You rescued me. You came into my heart. Fill you in my bones. You are the way that I can get off this long and winding road. You are the way, Jesus the way, home sweet home. Your light, Jesus, your light, it shows the way, home sweet home. You know that I've seen too many satanic dreams, up in lights falling off the silver screen. My mind was a messy book for a whole lot of worldly screed, written by fools Fools who have no Jesus dreams, you are the way, Jesus the way, home sweet home. Your light, Jesus, your light, it sets me free, home sweet home. Ooh, and then here comes the bridge, which I will probably hear Jesus do some scat. Is that what they call it in heaven, scat? I don't know. In other words, kind of made up stuff, freestyle. Jesus, I love you. Jesus, I love you. Thank you for taking me to Jesus school, Jesus. Yeah, maybe something about kindergarten here. And then we'll hook right back into Jesus, your light. Jesus, your light. Because he is light. I can feel his light. Can't see you, Jesus, with my natural eyes, but I can feel you in this song. Jesus, your light. Jesus, your light. Home, sweet home. Jesus, you are the way. Jesus, the way to home, sweet home. Then this beautiful reprise. I can actually play this part anyways on the piano. Maybe Jesus will have me do that at some point. And then here we finish up with Jesus, I dream now with my heart and soul, and your love, it lets me see the shore. Woo! I see why Jesus had me play that, because now I know what he's telling me. Just to introduce that, honestly, he says, for those that have eyes to see and ears to hear, Jesus is aware that there's a different show, and it's like a parallel universe. People are sometimes uncomfortable calling it that. It sounds so kind of technical, metaverse. It's like that. It's a parallel universe, and it's actually where we came from. We are spirit beings living in a material world. We kind of got plugged into this matrix things. And like, but why did we get plugged in here, Greg? Because I heard your episode 2. Well, that's not my episode, but that's Jesus's episode, okay, that I read. And the thing he wanted me to say about that episode is that we are here to gain experience. And so this life is meant to be a parallel universe that's quite immersive, and it feels, things hurt, bones break. But there is a kingdom, and it exists simultaneous to this, and you can enter it. And so there's different people with different religious background or preferences, and they'll talk about portals. They'll talk about, I don't know what they talk about because I don't listen to them. I just listen to what Jesus tells me. And he says there's this kingdom and you can enter it. And I'm like, oh, okay, so it's a hidden kingdom. That's correct. Like me, Greg. Like, yep, you look pretty hidden. And that's why I had to go to Jesus school, because I was not good at detecting or seeing the show. He said there's a show going on, and like I say, I used to call it many things. One was the drama, THEE, as in the God. And so when you're down here in Babylon, they think the only drama is the one that you're touching. What if I can feel it, touch it, smell it, make money with it? That's the reality, and that's all that matters. They may pay lip service, they may draw nearer with their lips to it, but their heart is far from that other kingdom. And so was mine, because my worldview had been hijacked. I mean, the one I received was broken, and God let me hobble around with it for a long while. But now he's showing me how, well, he gave me that gift. And I said, what is this? He said, that's a new worldview. So you can watch this episode again if you desire that same thing. It's available. And my soul started asking for it long before my mouth could. Didn't know what I was asking for. But it was a new worldview. And That's just a name for it. Other people have the same thing. They don't call it that, but Jesus has a mission for me that's related to building early Zion in the open, like Noah built the ark in the open. Has a mission for me of revealing his secrets in a new language. So it's maybe not traditional religious language, but it's kind of a mashup of that. And so that song I just sang is a hymn that will be sung in Zion, early Zion. Right now we're in early Zion. You just saw it. I just sang it. I'm in early Zion. Like, is that what Zion looks like? Yeah, there it goes right there. Early Zion. Yep, cutting wood, pioneer things again. We do a lot of pioneering, more and more. How low can we go, Lord? He will show us. Yep, returning we are to become Zion pioneers, Jesus pioneers. He's called it many things, just as he called this thing I'm talking about, this worldview, the drama. And it's a drama that I wanted to be in. I wanted to leave this world for a while and forever, really. And he taught me how. So I have a friend right now who's taking mushrooms to enter into that world. And I have lots of friends who do that, meth and marijuana. They're just trying to escape this world for a while. Some people are binge watching Hollywood programs, mentioned in that song that I've been raised up on satanic dreams, falling off the silver screen. And so, yes, I too was trying to escape. And so Babylon knows we're trying to escape. So it gives us a false escape, escape for a while, but not a lasting foundational escape. And that's what Jesus provides. And that he's named it a worldview, that's fine with me. He actually trained me to understand that. I never really referred to it as that, but I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. That's why you had me in sociology, getting a PhD, so I would deeply understand what gift you're about to give me. And no one has to go get a PhD in sociology, including myself. What you have to do is become as like a little child, because what I've just shown you is it. It's like, you see my production value? You see how this is? Where's my silver screen? Where's my blue screen? No, this is how you have to, just like, sufficient for your needs. Like, is this sufficient right here? Is this a sufficient backdrop for a worldwide episode that Jesus is producing? Yes, I guess so. Because he tells me, go out there, go by the wood pile, let's do that there this time. And it's like, you know what, this is nice. And, well, what about the cameras, Greg? You know, if you're really going to make a good production, yeah, you'd have 3 cameras, they'd focus up on my face, and I'd cry. And it's like, no, this is how Jesus does things. And, of course, he had to introduce me to one of the setting features that I didn't mention, and I can mention it later. It'll be a different episode. But he had to introduce my mind. He said, you're going to the manger scene approximation. Okay, he didn't say, you're going to the literal manger scene where I was born. No. He spake in parables, and nothing did he say that wasn't in parables. That's a scripture, roughly speaking. So when Jesus talks to me, I have to understand, like, oh, okay, so you're speaking to me symbolically. Yes, for your understanding, Greg. And so he said, I'm going to take you into the manger scene, and you need to stop knocking on the innkeeper door. He loves the innkeeper. He's inside the inn. But that's not where the big action is. In the last days, and I was surprised, because I'm like, and it made sense, though. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense, Lord, that you said you would take the low things and exalt them. So I got friends in low places, so we're going to the manger scene. And then he had to contrast that and say, okay, Greg, so in your society, who are the important people? Those people over there, Lord. Yeah. And I've been trying knocking on their door. Let me in. Why? They got the money. They got the power. They got the power. They got the power. Yes, those are the in control people. And God has made them so. If he doesn't want them to be in control, he's God. And he wants them in control. And I'm like, okay, well, but I'm your friend. I've always prayed to Heavenly Father, and then I started talking with you, Jesus. I mean, I still pray to Heavenly Father, but like, I think we're friends. He goes, we are. And that's why I'm doing you a favor, because Greg, your heart desires the big action. And you're saying that that happens in the manger scene. Well, that's hard to believe. Get used to hard to believe, Greg. Get used to different. Indeed. But I believe, Lord, help my unbelief, and he has. So he's shown me many, many, many times why we're in the manger scene, and all the way to showing me the big stuff in our own society. Guess where it starts? In garages. Another metaphorical manger scene, if you will. So when the King of Kings came to the earth, where was he born? Well, he was born in Google's or Apple's campus approximation. Oh, yeah, because he was coming here and he was going to show the whole world. No, he was born in a manger scene. He was born in like pastoral. Well, people like pastoral, I know, but not when they're trying to run a TV program with one camera. It's like, no, we need to up the production value. Jesus brought the production value way down so that, I don't know, it's like childlike. Hey, here's a bed for a baby. Made out of what? Straw. Try to do that now, you get arrested. Well, unless you do home birth. And there you go. Informal. So God told me that the formal has become corrupt. That always happens. Happened in Greece, happened wherever God has blessed people. And eventually the formal, it's kind of like a natural process. It squeezes out the lively, the salty, the leavenly, squeezes it out. It's not like it's all gone, but more and more it's gone. And the name for that is it gets less and less Jesus, the process. Less and less Jesus. So in the informal is not squozen as much. The outcasts have a little more room to kind of listen to that spirit. Like, okay, well, that's those traditions and so forth. And I know they're not working for me, but what does work for me? And then they go to the very things in the formals talking about all the time. You need to be kind to people. You need to do this. And the formalities can actually, you spend all your time learning about something, learning about how to play the guitar, but never playing the guitar. And that's what happens. You get carried away with formal systems. And so why are we doing Jesus TV this way? Number one, because Jesus said this is the way we're doing it. Why did I go to the manger scene and I no longer, well, that's not true. This is what's weird. He goes, go to the manger scene and stop knocking on that door, the innkeeper door, thinking that you're going to get in. So he adjusted. He said, you're going to go knock on that door. He says, you're going to preach my gospel to every creature. So you're going to go into churches and you're going to invite people to Jesus People potlucks, to Jesus karaoke worship, and so forth. That I will take my informal, salty, leavenly, bacterial, infested soul into these formal systems, along with, as Jesus will bring other outcast misfits, and he has them planted, but he'll liven them. He'll say it's time to activate the yeast. And so we'll go in and we'll begin to change those formal systems, and they will, and some of them will probably just be brought down. I don't know. But that's called the Black Sheep Prophecy. Last episode, I think I mentioned it on the tail end. So, Greg, go to the manger scene, but preach my gospel to every creature. Oh, so I can just, because you don't want me in that innkeeper door, I can just skip that, right, Lord? He's like, no. You're going to knock on that door and every door in Hovel. You'll go wherever I tell you to go. And so he does. He has me do things, and some people call that trolling. Oh, Greg, you know these people aren't going to want to go do your thing. So why are you knocking on that door? Well, I could tell them the same thing. Why are you sharing the gospel with those people in Europe? They are so over this Jesus thing, and it shows by your numbers, okay? They're not interested. Yet, that's not how Jesus operates. He'll knock on doors that he's fully aware that you're not going to have people streaming, but he's looking for the one. That's pretty audacious. Like, he will take the one, he'll go and fish the whole pond and all the others she'll just throw away. Nope. And they're, of course, throwing themselves away. No, I don't want it. Nope. A Bible, we have a Bible. A prophet, we have a prophet. We don't need another prophet, another preacher. I got my thing. And that's fine. Jesus just keeps sorting it till, yeah, I want some of that. Because somebody's soul says, where were you, brother? I wanted a new worldview. I didn't know how to go about it until I saw Jesus TV. So thank you for scripting that with Jesus. You're welcome. And I want some of those songs too. And so they'll get some of these classic rock mashups that Jesus specializes in that I hear when I'm at Jesus school. I have to listen. Oh, I think he's saying, oh, I recognize that one. Okay, write it down. And so I do. And you'll notice that my name's not on that stuff. I don't write them. I know that. Like, wow, that is good. And it turns out it's the only ones I want to listen to. Why? They remind me of something. Something I'm under covenant to always remember. And it starts with a J. And when you do remember that, guess what? Oh, yeah. You enter into the portal. Call it what you want. You enter into a hidden kingdom. If you can always, it's really hard to remember anything because we live in a chatty society, gaslighting. Hey, look here, look there. Don't wear the mask. Do wear the mask. Ukraine. What comes up next? Oh, it's going to be low here, low there. And we're already plugged into the low here, low there system. It's called Facebook. It's called news. It's called the Marketplace Society. Oh yeah, that was the old life cereal. Now try this one, and now try that one. Oh, we like sheep. I thought the grass was over here, greener over here. And it's like, are you following the shepherd, the good shepherd? Are you following the sheep? Hey, I found some good stuff over here. So what I'm going to say to finalize this is what I always say street preaching. Do not do what I just told you. And Jesus talked about in episode 2, the episode we just wrapped up. Do not do it unless Jesus tells you to. That's the only reason I do it, because like, that's a lot of work. Jesus, your yoke is easy and your burden is light in a relative sense. But I have been working like somebody who's going after money big time, who says, you know what? You can buy anything with money, and money solves all the problems. And I'm going to build systems that reinforce when I wake up, what am I going to be thinking of? You know it. I'm going to be thinking of money, because that is where the true treasure is. That's the only thing that matters. Okay, now that person, if God allowed him, is wealthy. And there's a lot of them. I can just go find those people, and you go dig in their life. These guys have systems. I'm telling you what, they have built systems to self-reinforce so they don't forget. Okay, and they love money. And that's what you have to first do. You have to really, really, really love money to get a lot of money, because money attracts money. Wow, Greg, are you teaching us the law of attraction? No, I'm not. But I'm saying filth attracts filth. Oh, that sounds like the law of the harvest. No, I'm not a doctrinaire. I'm not a guru. I'm just a friend of Jesus. So if what I say sounds familiar, it's probably because some guru hijacked it from Jesus. I don't call it hijack. They just listen carefully to the Spirit in them, because Jesus pours this stuff down everywhere. I'm not the only one that can hear a new version of Stairway to Heaven, but I heard it because I was listening for it. Oh. So what I'm telling you is beware that you ask Jesus for this present. Okay. He'll give you a kit. It's a worldview kit, and it will change how you see the world, and it will require sacrifice. And it does if you go seek money like that as well. Some of you seek money heavily, and you've paid a huge price. I did. I was pursuing. It's just reasonable in our culture. It's reasonable to go get an education, and that education, they don't talk about how you can get more Jesus. You say, well, no, because there's not enough room for that. It's all we can do to teach these kids 4th grade math, and then 5th grade math, and 7th grade math, the Pythagorean theorem. Do you really need the Pythagorean theorem? No, but we teach it to them anyways, because the devil tells us that it's good to pack their lives with stuff that they don't really need. Well, they do need fourth grade math, but anything beyond that, no, they don't. Most people. Yeah, well, that's the cool thing is we'll just keep packing their life with stuff. So they go to Walmart. Are they putting stuff in their cart they don't really need? What are you ruling your life by? Sufficient for your need? It doesn't look like it, Greg. No, I'm going hungry after I got a fever for something. And it's not a salad spinner or a George Foreman way to cook a steak. No, it starts with a J, and I'm feverish for it. Well, who put that fever in you? Jesus. Because why? I asked him to. And I keep eating and hungering and thirsting after that which I eat. Oh, so going back to the law of the harvest, more Jesus seeks what? More Jesus. Well, what does Jesus light seek? Jesus light seeks light amounts of Jesus. All right, so Jesus is calling, and I'm going to conference to listen to prophets from the only true church upon the whole face of the earth. Doctrine and Covenants 130, and I'm saying that seriously because Jesus said, you need to go tell people this is the only true church upon the face of the earth. And I'm like, Jesus, what does that mean? He goes, that's another mystery that you're going to have to ponder for the rest of your life. Just say what I say. So there I go. I said it, Jesus. Jesus is a provocateur, much more so than I am. I always thought I was a provocateur. You have not met a provocateur. I mean, this guy's going to use earthquakes and all kinds of stuff. You want to provoke people? I'm not qualified for that. He will do what I think is like waterboarding. He calls it baptism. No, I'm baptizing them, Greg, through an experience, a difficult experience. I am not qualified. I would never do that to you. I'm not that provocative. I am pretty provocative. I'll keep talking and things like that. He's like, oh, you're just going on and you're a wild man. You go get closer to Jesus. You pay attention to what he's doing. Oh, my goodness. There's a precedent. So if I'm a lawyer, I'm saying, oh, there's a precedent. But I can't even match how provocative Jesus is, let alone chatty. He talks and talks and talks like I do, but I'm not even close. He's flooding the world with truth and light. You want to listen to something that's real chatty. Woo! And it's good chat, though. So I'm going to go listen to his anointed prophets, apostles, and I'm going to try to believe. Help thou my unbelief, Lord, because do I really believe this? Because if I did, then I would probably go do what they're saying. Well, yeah, Greg, 10 years ago, when you were listening to a conference, which one? What did you implement? What did you actually do? So you were inspired. Oh, those are good talks. What did you do? Well, there was one I can point to. Neil Maxwell, it's called Care for the Soul. And Jesus, you helped me do that. My soul was sick. It was famished. And it was famished not for want of bread, nor of thirst, but for hearing the word of God. And so I didn't know what I needed, but you did. And it was living water, but I needed a receptacle. And that receptacle is called a Jesus worldview. And so without a Jesus worldview, without an ongoing Jesus story, I kept being really, really emaciated. Although my body doesn't look emaciated, my soul was hurting. And that's actually probably why I reached out to Jesus, hurting so bad. I want to escape this world for a while, Lord. And I've tried all the other temporary solutions that my friends in low places try. And at least in my mind, too, doing that. That ain't working. So I surrendered, gave my life away, and Jesus said, oh, I got a present for you, Greg. Comes in a box. It's a puzzle. It's called a worldview. It's like a Viewmaster. And it'll allow you to see things differently and feel things differently and believe things differently and then do things differently. And so I'm waiting for what that means. But I can already see, as you see, a TV program rolling out Jesus TV. Wow. I'm like Ted Turner, but in the manger scene. But I don't claim it's my TV. That's Jesus TV. And here's one of the programs. All right. Well, until we meet again on episode 3, where we'll talk about the plot of my worldview. So we talked about the setting. We talked about the worldview. Until we do that and the show that Jesus has me assigned to is called Pluck Out My Eye. Yeah, which I've been doing, plucking out my eye that offended me. This is offensive. Well, Jesus says, I got to help you pluck that out and stick in a new eye. And that, of course, is called the worldview that he's giving me. And I want both eyes eventually plucked out and stuck a whole new worldview. And he's just like, well, Greg, just wait, because Mark Zuckerberg is going to create that. It's called the Meta. I can't wait. And I think that Mark is going to use AI, artificial intelligence. The guy that I'm seeing at Jesus School, he uses II. Ever heard of II? Two eyes. One eye, two eye. Infinite intelligence. Apparently, Jesus says, you don't want just artificial intelligence. It will fail you. It'll be cool. And it'll do some wonderful things. Surgeries, whatever it is. It's already doing some wonderful things. It's also doing some wacky things, but Jesus says, yeah, this will look like low technology. It'll look like Jesus TV, except for to those who have ears to hear, who have patience. Say, I'm just going to hang in here and see what Greg/Jesus has to say. And then they'll hear something. Maybe something Greg didn't even intend to say. Maybe they'll see something. I leave that to Jesus, because all I do is what I did right now. This is my fish. This is my loaf. Because I have been given much, I too must give. Because of thy great bounty, Lord, each day I live. I will divide my gifts with thee. And I can divide this. Say, hey, here's a worldview. Take it, make your own. With Jesus, a new worldview. And then he'll do this. And he'll actually use that technology, by the way. He told me, in 2015, he says, he called this thing, this worldview, personal electronic universe, is what he told me. It has many different names. I won't go into the technical, but he said, you're going to lay down with me and other architects and engineers in early Zion, the underlying structure, which that's what you're seeing, an understanding so that we can build actually things. We'll use electronic tools and so forth, but we'll ultimately use infinite intelligences, because those things, that the technologies that we're used to using, are mere crutches, as is the worldview itself. Jesus is the ultimate crutch, but he uses means. That means he uses technology. And so that's what I know I'll use. And I'm not opposed to using technology. It's just Jesus has trained me. Manger scene, it ain't too fancy. And technology's not the normal Babylon kind, oftentimes not required. You don't have to have 3 cameras, because can I hear him? Can I see him? That is Greg talking. Yes. Can I listen carefully with long-suffering, gentleness, meekness, love unfeigned? If you can do that, and that's called charity, then you're using an advanced leapfrog technology that won't fail. And so God is with you till we meet again. May your heart be full of charity and love, because that ultimately is how you get that mind and that heart to see a new world.